So then I could be like, oh my god, and then I could like end. I'd be like, end of part 1, so then it doesn't randomly cut off. Okay, are we live? We are live. Okay. Welcome to part 2. Computer still sucks. Sorry for the people listening on Spotify. Hopefully one day we can do this in one go and you won't have to listen to me explain this to the poor people who are watching this on YouTube. So, sorry, Jordan, you got cut off. You were saying something about Marvel What If.
What if? I was basically saying having a new person come in, um, you know, part of what made season 2 in particular, they really wanted it to be uplifting, so they didn't want to. Because I read about this, they didn't want to have it be too depressing and stuff because it was when they made it, it was in the height of the pandemic, and so you know
Yeah.
they wanted things to feel good again.
I mean,
Um,
I will say that is it was a nice change of pace. I did have that realization where, oh yeah, right, season 2 or season 1, like every episode seemed to be this like parade of sadness. Um, and just like unbelievably depressing episode after depressing episode. And this one wasn't. This season wasn't that, which I appreciated. Um, and it's funny you mentioned the not wanting to make it dark. Did you hear about the scrapped Spider-Man episode they were gonna do?
I read a little bit about that, but I mean, I would have just been happy having another Spider-Man one.
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, I do get, but like, there really should be more Spider-Man, and they promised us more Spider-Man episodes. I think they said coming out the back of season 1, they were like, oh, there's going to be at least one Spider-Man episode next season. Then they just didn't end up doing them. Yeah, I mean, I want more Phase 4 guys. Like, yeah, like that one where it was like, oh, what if? I think we mentioned this last week, so we'll keep it brief. But doing a musical episode. Um, that
I mean, knowing that they made this at about the time when Shang-Chi came out, it explains a lot. Like season 2, that's when they
yeah.
made it. It explains a lot, and it's why they didn't want it. That's why they had to, for example, the Hela episode, they had to make it take place in the past because they couldn't have it change. They didn't know what the movie was going to be,
That's it. Yeah,
basically.
that's what
So
I made a video about that on TikTok. Of people will be like, "How come we didn't include anything from Phase 4 or whatever?" It was like, yeah, it's because they were writing this in 2020, 2019 because animation takes a while. So yeah, they hadn't seen those movies yet. So yeah, that's why, and that's why I'm guessing they didn't know much about Black Widow either, which is why that bad guy from that isn't in it, and it's just the mother randomly, and why it doesn't
yeah.
feel like it's very fleshed out. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, yeah. I do get it.
So
Um,
yeah, going into this next season, it'll be because then now they will be able to use more of the Phase 4 stuff since it's actually come out, and
exactly.
with a different. But see, that's where like if I was them, that's where I would have leaned into the more like it's not related to the MCU and it's just stuff that happened.
Exactly.
Like that's what I would have done for
Um,
season 2. But that's just me.
okay, so moving on to something completely different. Let's talk about the Minecraft movie, where it was revealed this week that they've added. Uh,
Wait. They're making a Minecraft movie? Of course they're making a
have
Minecraft
we not
movie.
talked about the Minecraft movie before? I could
No,
have
no,
sworn
we
I've mentioned
haven't.
it before. Yeah, they're making a live. Yeah, I positive because I told you it was a live action movie, and you were like, why or how or what are they possibly going to do about it?
I mean, that would have been my response, so I could believe that this is something I've blocked out of my memory because it sounds terrible, but
Well,
you
I
should
mean,
describe it. You should describe it for the audience.
you say that, but they recently announced that they've added Jack Black to it, so he's apparently I don't.
That makes sense. He narrated one of the books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of
Wait,
one
there's
of the
a
books
book?
on Audible. There's a bunch of books as far as I know. I just know that on Audible, he was the voice of one of the books.
Oh, yeah. There's people. I don't know if this is true or not. Um, hold on. Let me just see. No, yeah, no, it doesn't say. But I heard someone say that he might be playing Minecraft Steve. But I'm like, but if it's live action, how does that work? Like, so these books that you mentioned, are they sort of similar to the story mode? Is that kind of what the story is?
I don't know much about them. I just
Because this game
what I
doesn't have a story. So what story is there to
well,
adapt?
that's kind of an interesting thing to because there are versions like there's, for example, the Dungeon Crawler game, which is technically a Minecraft game, but it's not the main Minecraft game, and that does have a story in it.
And is that again
Um,
similar to the story mode story? Like, is that the basic
when
framework?
you say story mode story, I'm
The
not sure what.
the Patton Oswalt, the one where it's the made by Telltale.
Oh, the Telltale one. You kind of, except for that, with the one that I'm talking about, I think it's slightly less of a story. But yeah, I mean that's kind of what they would probably do is they would probably base it off of that, where it's more focused on the story of it. As for Minecraft, it's like Minecraft itself. It has more of a like what I don't know what you would call a game theory kind of story where it's like there's stuff there to be seen if you know where to look.
Right. So, but okay, to do this in live action,
Oh,
like
that's where I say that makes no sense to me. Why would you do that?
without the aesthetic, there's not
It's not
it's
Minecraft.
not Minecraft. And like say what you will about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, that matches the aesthetic. Like what people have to say about what I had to say about the writing aside, it looks like Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Like that
Absolutely.
like it absolutely does. So like
To a
why
creepy degree, quite frankly.
like the other cast members are also, and they haven't said anything about this story. I actually read this article because I'm like, have they said what it's about? And they haven't said anything about what the story. Apparently, it's Jason Momoa is also in it.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
I obviously
that's a
they're
choice.
gonna do I'm guessing action adventure comedy style movie if it's Jason Momoa. Like it's not gonna be something super serious. It's obviously gonna be aimed at kids. I have to guess.
I would have to assume because that's what the game is for.
Yeah,
That's what's kept the game so popular. I don't, that to me that makes no sense. To me, you would do an animated thing,
that's what you would think. To me, you would do an animated, like a big budget version
like a
of
Lego
the
movie.
yeah, and have it sort of be like that. Like I said, like the story mode. Like then when I think story in Minecraft, that's just the first thing my brain goes to.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah,
I didn't play it
absolutely.
much, but that's what I and I'm like. I just don't. Why? It's just one of those games. But to be fair, I also said that about Five
I
Nights at
mean,
Freddy's, and I
to me, when
enjoyed
you
that
say
movie.
live Minecraft movie, all I picture is like when they did that Dora the Explorer movie that I never watched, where it was like this sort of feels like it completely misses the point of the thing that it's based on.
Well, the Dora the Explorer movie reminds me of, and it's funny you bring that movie up because it reminds me, it ties into my book report later, which is interesting. But the idea of the oh, this is the movie version of of the cartoon, right? So it's like oh, we have to make big swings. So the movie version of the Dora cartoon, she's an adult now, or she's a teenager now, because that's what you do with the movie version of the,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what that movie. But with Minecraft, it's like I just don't. But to be fair, we've often talked about how I don't get Minecraft, so I'm not going to be the one to criticize any idea of a movie for Minecraft because I
it's
don't
just
understand how that doesn't get
it,
boring after 15 minutes.
it has a very specific style. That's the issue. It's not the story. The story can be whatever they need it to be.
Yeah,
That's not the part that confuses me. It's the decision to make it live action which confuses me because Minecraft it has a very distinct blocky, and that's why it's kind of stood the test of time
yeah.
is because the point of it is it's like you're playing a virtual Lego.
The only thing I could think of
So
maybe
how do you take that, capture that feeling, that visual style, and bring it into live action? I don't.
the
I there's ha-
only theory I can think of what it could possibly be. Justin's theory for the Minecraft movie because this I'm gonna clip this and make it into a short later. But this is because if you're bringing in Jack Black, the one way I could see them doing it is maybe it's a Jumanji thing, where like they get pulled into the Minecraft world. And it's like they get like he's like Jack Black or Jason Momoa. They're like regular guys or whatever, and they get like pulled into Minecraft world, and when they're in Minecraft world it looks like Minecraft and like they use the Minecraft tools and there's creepers and stuff and they look like 3D CGI or like whatever, like they look like the game, but then Jack Black and Jason Momoa are like regular people, so it's like regular people in the Minecraft world, and then maybe there's some sort of conflict there.
I could maybe see it being a thing where now that you've said that and attributed it to Jumanji, I could maybe see it being a thing where it's like Yeah, you start off in the real world. They get pulled into the computer, or into the whatever, the
Yeah.
game. And like when they're first in it, they're in the Minecraft style and it is animated and it's blocky and stuff. And then it's like the game transforms around them and becomes realistic. And
Yeah,
then it's
maybe.
just like virtual reality real, or it's like they get pulled into like a virtual reality or augmented whatever, like
Yeah.
you get pulled into the computer and it's like the modern day, like this is 3033 and this is Minecraft now, as you put the thing on and then you're in Minecraft and it's you, and then maybe, I guess.
Maybe. I
But
honestly, yeah, it's that's the only thing I could think. Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where it's not an adaptation of the story of Minecraft, but it's a movie about like also sort of similarly to how like there's a Gran Turismo movie, but it's not really about Gran Turismo. Kind of a
yeah,
similar idea.
isn't that like about the people that played the game are like trying to race for real or
Yeah,
something?
it's based on a true story. Yeah. They got
Oh, okay,
they
yeah.
got guys who a guy who's really good at playing the game, and they had him race cars in real life. And the trailer was
Oh, yeah.
hilarious because there's a line where I laughed out loud in the theater when I heard it the first time. I remember because you were with me. Um, where he was like, where the guy was like, hey, NASCAR drivers are are actual athletes. Sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face. They're actual athletes. There's no way these guys could do what they do. And I was like, I'm pretty confident they probably could.
I mean, with enough practice, I think a lot of people could.
Yeah, you're just driving a car, man. And you're
Sure,
not
it's a fast car,
you're
but
about as much of it, and I'm sure I'm gonna get shat on by someone in the comments being like, no, they're not. But to me, a NASCAR driver is as much of an athlete as a poker player. Whenever they put poker on Sportsnet, and they're like, it's a sport. It's not a sport. Poker is not a
uh,
sport.
I mean, if we were going tier level, I would put poker at the bottom, NASCAR slightly above it because driving does take some effort and skill.
Yeah, but no, you're not an
Um,
athlete. Everyone can drive a
no,
car.
no, no, that's where I said it does. Unlike poker,
Yeah, unless
which I
unless you
don't, I
have some
don't.
sort of disability, then no, obviously you can't drive. But like most, 75 to 60%, most people can drive a car, like reasonably well.
Especially if they're not on an actual road.
Exactly. I remember that line made me laugh. So that's okay. Let's see here. What do we have next? Oh yes, we have a slew of upsetting Mickey Mouse. It's still new in the year, so we don't have a ton to talk about news wise. But let's
I heard,
talk
I heard
about
there was two of those Mickey Mouse ones.
there. I have four.
Oh
I
God.
have yeah. There's a slew of just awful knockoff fucking Mickey Mouse shit.
Why? Like, why?
And it was
Why?
like they announced them the
Why?
day he went public domain, which just
Of
tells you
course they did.
they were like
They were
raw.
doing this. They had set this up months in advance, prepared for the day.
Of course, they were
And
all frothing
why?
at the mouth to do it
Why? Like, why?
because they think they're funny, and because the Winnie
No, they're not. They're
because
annoying.
because the Winnie yeah. There's the vanishing of SS Willie. It's a 9-minute short based on obviously it's an upsetting one.
Of course it
Um,
is.
But yeah, no, yeah, they were waiting for the date to happen. So no, it's because the Winnie the Pooh one made a shit ton of money for some idiotic fucking reason.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, so then there's Steamboat Willie set to Steamboat. What's this one called? Mickey Mouse Trap. That's what it is.
The thing that
Um,
I find funny is where people are like, oh yeah, Mickey is in the private.
no, not Mickey.
And it's like, no, not Mickey. That specific image, that one version
Version of
where he's
Mickey.
wearing when he's wearing the hat and it's black and white and the type of eyes, like that
And
specific
it's
thing.
not the character. I mean, it is the character that is, but it's more the shorts that he's from are now public domain, like Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie and all that era of
So like, if you
Mickey
tried to go and
Mouse.
make one of the Mickey that they have now, you better watch your ass because
Yeah,
you are in serious
and
trouble.
and it's like to me, it's way too legally dubious. Where it's like there's so many of these where it's just they're using the fact that it looks like Mickey Mouse, and it's like it doesn't really look like Steamboat Willie. It just looks like a scary version of Mickey Mouse. Like if I were
It looks
Disney.
looks legally distinct but not dissimilar
No, to
too.
me it looks too similar. It looks too similar to Mickey. It's like there's nothing differentiating this as the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey. It just looks like the mouse. And if I'm Disney, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna wait for every like Winnie the Pooh is one thing because yeah, Winnie the Pooh, you can there's a variation of him where he doesn't look, and even then, the Blood and Honey is just the Disney version. Like like it's they want you to recognize it as the Disney version. Like the next one has
Oh,
Tigger in it.
absolutely.
And it's the same thing here. They just want you to think it's Mickey Mouse, and it's like if I'm Disney, yeah, I'm watching these, and I'm like, yeah, too similar, too similar, too similar. Like I'm taking, and my thing is like, if you're gonna do something, why do they all have to be scary and upsetting? I had this thought, and I still might make a video
Right?
about this, but why do they all have to be scary and upsetting? Like I had a fun idea where I was like, well, what if we did one where it's a young man or a young mouse or whatever, it can be a mouse, and he goes off. This is my pitch for a Steamboat Willie movie. Okay, tell me if this. I mean, this won't interest you because you don't like quirky independent films. But maybe this will appeal to somebody else. Um, but it's an independent film, and it's a young man. It could be a man. It could be a mouse. I don't know. Whatever. And he, he's idealistic. He's happy, and he goes and he gets a job as an assistant to a steamboat captain. And that steamboat captain is just a real prick of a guy. He's abusive. He's mean, and he just treats him like crap. And he works for him all summer. And then towards the end of the summer, a young pretty girl comes in and is a wants a ride, and the boss is like, no, we're not going to give you a ride, and but he convinces him to, and they get to know each other, and like there's maybe a big dance sequence or whatever, where he's playing like a song for her, and like they fall in love or whatever, and it's called Jordan Steamboat William.
I mean, yeah.
And it's like a it's got like the what I'm oh like like those like independent films like that have like there's an episode of a coming of age independent film like with the saturated like they made fun of it on American Dad. You remember the episode of American Dad where Scott's dad dies, and it's Snot's dad dies, and it's Snot and Steve and all the friends, and it's like they're going on a road trip to go to the dad's
Oh yeah,
funeral.
yeah, yeah.
Like that
I,
kind of independent movie.
I do remember that, and Areti Media also says, "I bet Disney will be watching like a hawk for anything that's a little too Mickey Mouse."
Oh yeah, I mean if you've seen half of these horror movies, like there's that one where it has nothing to do, like it takes place in an arcade, I think, and it has nothing to do with Steamboat Willie. It's just a character that looks like Mickey Mouse. Like, and that's what people like. People, there's too much legal like,
Legal red tape.
yeah, where
Like
it's like
to me, the only one that you could really get away with is you have a steamboat family cruise or whatever. Mouse monster shows up and murders people.
like
To
I
me,
mean
that's
yeah. I think I don't know if you haven't. I mean,
because that's just Steamboat Willie,
I
but
can't.
on a horror boat.
There's a movie that came out that's I can't remember what it's called now, but I can only remember the joke name that a podcast I ironically listened to came up with. They called it Dracula on a Boat, and it was basically it's a section of the Dracula story where it's when he's on a particular ship, and the horror movie is basically he gets out of his coffer whenever and he kills everybody, and that's the basic gist of it. But that's what I would make. I would make Dracula on a boat, but with Steamboat Willie, where it's just Steamboat Willie. I think I made a video where I made that joke, where it's Steamboat Willie on a boat, and there's a bunch of young hot people, and he's slowly killing them, and they're all trapped on a boat. Like that's what I would do, exactly like you said.
I mean, what I would also do is, if I'm having my version of it, that is slightly less terrible. Um, you have them show up. The owner of the boat is like this creepy weirdo, and then over the course of the movie, it's like he's actually the one that's killing people, but people think that it's the weird mouse monster
I
that's been
mean,
following them.
you know,
And then the mouse monster shows up, and he's like a Frankenstein's monster where he's actually good and he's saving them.
that'd be fun.
Um,
That'd be kind of interesting.
and the boat owner is actually the one that's killing everyone,
Yeah,
and the Mickey Mouse monster, as it were, who's his assistant, She like
I
is the
mean,
one that like saves them all.
what's is he technically Pete in, or does he have a different name? Is he just the captain in the original short? Is he called
I
Pete at that
I
point?
I don't remember if he is.
Because what's is Pete short for something?
I think he's Captain Pete.
Is he Captain? Well, eventually they called him Captain Pete, but I don't know that he is Captain Pete in that original short.
I'd have to
I
go
don't
and look it
think
up.
his but like I would. Is Pete short for something? Is Pete short? Peter. I call him
Peter.
Peter. I'd call him Peter, and then that way he could be Pete, or as my friends call me, Pete. That'd be fun. And yeah, there's nothing that says that. I mean, I do like the idea of him being like a homunculus, like um, yeah, like a creature.
And like the point of the boat ride could be that it's specifically like a horror themed one.
Yeah,
Like you go on it to be scared, like scared crap out of you,
I
and then like he secretly uses it to make people disappear.
I do like the idea of the captain being the murderer, but I kind of would maybe in my version of this would have it where it's not creepy from the onset, where the captain is really nice and kind and just like it just seems like a decent guy, because you know me, I love my twists. I would have it where the captain's like
Uh,
a decent guy, and then yeah, you think it's the Mickey Mouse monster killing people, and it turns out that the captain's a serial killer, and he's the bad guy, and it's otherwise a nice little boat trip, and everything's all nice, and until
I,
Mickey shows up.
two things. One, Areti Media says plot twist: the killer mouse is Walt Disney in disguise. He had to wait until Steamboat Willie entered public domain so Disney wouldn't sue him.
That's actually good. I like that. Yeah,
um,
we can make a
oh,
good horror knockoff horror movie. Okay.
the one thing that I definitely would want in it is because I think this would be twisted and fun. And if the hashtag totally not Mickey, but definitely Mickey is the villain, I want a scene where he's got like the people that he's killed, like one of them the ribs is on display, the other one like the thing,
You're
and
saying what I'm
he's doing the
thinking.
music.
Yes.
He's doing the music on the things and like the various
Yes.
body parts.
Oh, I would yes, where it's like yeah, he's like ripping him apart, and he's playing Turkey in the Straw, just like in the original card. Oh, as soon as you started saying that, I'm like, that's. I was literally just thinking that. I'm like, there's got to be a way we can work in the music, like, and they see,
The twisted music scene.
yeah, and it's like that. That way, you're doing something like I don't like Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. I mean, I talked about how much I actually quite enjoyed the mean one. That one was actually pretty good. I don't think the idea of taking a beloved childhood character and making it awful. I was against it, but now I'm not. If you do something interesting with it or fun with it, like the mean one actually did something kind of interesting and fun. Winnie the Pooh at Blood and Honey is terrible. Like it's not interesting. And like it's the thing. The thing is like, but at least they're trying. Like there's an element to the mythology of Winnie the Pooh that they've went like, okay, let's make this sinister. And there's been thought. Some of these Mickey Mouse ones are just like, he's just a mouse thing. Like
Yeah.
it's lazy. It's just like the fact that half of these
It
got announced
purely
the day he went
exists
public
just
domain.
because.
Yeah, absolutely. It
Yeah,
just tells me
no.
that all these people were just waiting for it to go public domain so they can put out these horrible looking. Like they're not even Like the one of them is like, yeah, there's nothing to really tie it to Mickey Mouse. It's taking shit from Five Nights at Freddy's. It's basically Five Nights at Freddy's with a Mickey Mouse, and he's not an animatronic. He's just a guy, and it's like it takes place in like a kiddie arcade, and it's like yeah,
Lazy.
this is aping more Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah,
Lazy.
terrible. It's like this is terrible. Like it's just not. It's just, yeah. If you're gonna do and yeah, I don't. That's what I don't get. Like these characters are now public domain. I mean, with Winnie the Pooh, I got it because there's no version of Winnie the Pooh you can do where it's not just doing Disney. So I get why they went horror with that. But with Steamboat Willie, you could do other things. Like be creative with it. Do something with it beyond just sticking it to Disney. Being like this is anti-Disney, and that's the idea.
I mean, the thing is that the reason why a lot of the time, and maybe this is a just me opinion, but the reason why a lot of the time these things become a horror thing is because in terms of writing, it's the easiest thing to write to make a quick buck.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's the easiest thing to go like, "Hey, this isn't your dad's Mickey Mouse," right?
Yeah,
It's
and especially with Mickey Mouse, because for like the entirety of his existence, Disney has very much wanted him to be the family friendly mouse.
yeah.
to make a horror movie. That's why you do it, is to
Yeah.
specifically to make him everything that he's not and get the notoriety and attention that comes with
My
it.
thing is like these movies like with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, like they just because nobody wants to fuck with the mouse, they never get a budget, so it's not like they can do anything. Like if you're gonna do something with a scary Mickey Mouse, yeah, go like hog wild and make it extra violent and gory. And these things just never are because they can't get the budget to do it because they want to turn it out as fast as they possibly can. And like I said,
Oh yeah,
the Winnie the Pooh one made a stupid amount of money because it had such a low budget, and everyone went out to watch it for the novelty of it. And that's what this is. It's purely for the novelty of it.